You're listening to the Faith and Friction Podcast with your hosts, Mac and the Rev. Welcome to the conversation.
All right, welcome to Faith and Chin. One more time, man. We're strapped in again, Rev. Here we are.
I am strapped in, ready to go. My hands are up. Bring it on.
All right, so
I love the subject today.
Without even an intro, I'm going to start by reading this beautiful quote that a lot of people have already heard, but it really gives us a good foundation.
It bears repeating always.
For what we're going to do. So here we go. Teddy Roosevelt, right, gang? Yep. All right, so you've heard this, but it's amazing. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Man and the woman.
And that's right, man and the woman. I'm just reading what he said, but you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for reminding me that. Okay. Whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he or she fails, at least fails while daring greatly. That's the Brene Brown thing, right? Daring greatly so that his or her place shall never be without those cold and timid souls who either know victory nor defeat. So, in the arena.
Some of our topics, sometimes I'm just going on pure theory. This topic today, that quote right there, I have lived both sides of that coin.
Mm-hmm.
I have been the fearless warrior, and I've been the safe, protected one on the sidelines. And let me tell you, my soul.
Which one you like best?
Oh, I'm telling you, my soul is, thank God you finally took a risk. Thank God you finally got in the game. Yeah, you screwed up royally and fell down, but you learned something. You grew, you became, and you stretched. I value those moments way more than the safe moments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I read a book years and years ago by a guy named Erwin McManus, and it was called The Barbarian Way. And my ex, she got me this print of a lion's head, which again, in a Christian realm, right? The Lion of Judah. And the crown on the Lion of Judah was this barbarian horde. It looked like it was a crown.
Wow.
But it was all these guys and I've always thought about that one guy coming at you is one thing. But man, when you have the horde, when you go into the arena with the horde that's got your back, that
and it's the horde within you. Every part of myself, not not the part I'm willing to risk, but every part of me, my wisdom, my strength, my experience, my history, my creativity, my passion, all of it, that is a horde that says I'm throwing all of it into the game and not just playing it safe. Because if you only throw one component, you're not going to achieve nearly close.
I don't think I've ever looked at that one. That's really cool. Thank you.
So you got your horde of people around you. You got the support to grow and become, but there's also within you a tribe.
Don't leave anything on the sideline.
We often talk about the tribe of five. There's a tribe of five within you. There's a cast of characters within you that are all necessary for being in the arena.
How often do we I love that, man. How often do we leave little parts of ourselves that never fully commits to whatever, right? It's a safety valve. It's whatever it might be. You're embarrassed. You don't feel worthy. Whatever it might be.
And we often hear in team environments and in corporate environments, you're only as strong as your weakest player. I'm only as strong as the weakest part of myself that maybe needs to be cultivated, be thrown into the game.
There it is.
And they might get hurt. They might get wounded, but they're going to be stronger as a result.
Yeah, eat some dirt. Yeah, I
eat
love that.
the dirt. There's like the whole quote, I don't know who said it, about I want to slide into home, thoroughly used up. With not 1 ounce of me wasted on the rounding of the base, but I'm giving my all.
Safe. Yeah. I love that.
Safe or out, I still gave it my all, sliding into home.
They're not leaving anything on the field.
Yeah.
All right, so I've titled this episode, and it can kind of it'll go along with what we just read from Teddy Roosevelt. Yes. It may come out differently when you finally see the podcast, because a lot of times I change that up, but I'm calling it Frictionless Mediocrity. How about that? Right?
Yeah.
Frictionless. in general, we talked about this in the pre-show,
Yeah.
if you live a life that you try to be frictionless, you try to eliminate the friction or mitigate it as much as you can, or whatever it might be, in my opinion, you live a life of mediocrity at that
And it's beyond mediocrity. Again,
Yeah, you said-
first-hand experience, it's death.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing's risked. I'm not only not on the sidelines, I'm not in the arena,
In
but
there.
boy, does it feel safe. I'm very safe, and it is a quick trip to dying.
Wow.
You were meant
Everything
to
we
be.
talk about on this podcast says no.
Lean into the
We ain't
friction,
going that
lean
way.
into the possibilities where somebody might disagree.
And
The
create
argument
something
creates
to create
some.
it,
Wow, there's a concept.
right? Okay, so we're all about, this is who we are.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a bit of the antithesis. If you don't practice or lean into a lot of stuff we've been talking about, what might be the result? What kind of life would it look like? Okay.
It's it's a boring life. It's a boring life. It's a stagnant life. There's no juice and no creativity. And to me, just me, and I'm speaking for myself, it was
Sure.
close to just death. I'm surviving.
Mm-hmm.
There's no thriving in there whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just survived another day. Check.
Yeah. Now you get to the physical death, but you died a long time ago.
Exactly. I think I said last Sunday, the greatest tragedy in life is not dying.
Uh-huh.
It's dying and realizing you never lived.
There you go.
And,
Yeah.
then, and living involves friction and tension.
Hell yeah. So anyway, so let's see. What's kind of driving this train, maybe at its core? We, the royal we,
Mhm.
society, our kids, our grandkids, we are becoming increasingly more fragile. We
Yeah.
just are. As we strive to insulate, we're trying to say, I don't like the friction. No, protect. Parents are protecting their kids
Yes.
from friction. What
Well,
could
it's not okay. Why did my kid get a D on this paper?
Yeah.
Because he didn't do his best work. Period. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, don't do that. Then we fight and defend them. And then we go ahead and just bow to that. Okay, I'll give them a C. And it was not C work, but oh gosh, my little boy, my little girl might be hurt, might be upset.
Yeah.
And the D is actually going to actually get your kid a better grade the next time.
Stimulate
the
a
next
little bit.
paper.
Yeah.
As opposed to I can be coddled. I can be taken
There's
care
the
of.
good
I really
word.
don't have to give the best of myself. I'm just going to be coddled.
I'm
Mommy
cruising.
will come in and take it, and I'll get a trophy
Right.
for participation.
I know you've seen this playing sports.
Yeah.
It's the parent that'll call the coach over at the end of the game or even call he or she up and go, how come my kid didn't play more? Why didn't you play my kid? Now, I've been in sports long enough and I've seen all kinds of stuff. Can there be some instances where there's bias, where there's favoritism, where there's, yes.
Of course there is.
But at the end of the day, most of the time, it's because your kid isn't performing. All right. Why? How much is he practicing? What is he doing outside of our practice? There's all kinds of stuff.
And what we do is we get so defensive of little Johnny's. He's not the greatest third baseman.
Right.
He played one inning out of 9.
Mm-hmm.
But little Johnny is an amazing spelling bee champion.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the guy playing third base in the other 8 innings really isn't very good. It takes all kinds to
That's
go
right.
around. Excel where you excel. Don't throw a tantrum because you're not excelling and the coach isn't putting you into a game.
Just be joyful that you're playing
Wow,
part of a
you
team.
played third base for one game and you did as best you could. Good for
Right.
you.
So there you go.
But no, let me give you a trophy for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember getting those trophies,
Yeah.
and I remember feeling diminished
Yeah.
and belittled. And
It's just
the kid who played third base for the 8 innings was better than me, and I made me work harder. I got
Imagine
up to
that.
4 innings. Wow, we split the game. That's a good thing. But it was only not because I was handed third base, because I earned it.
there it is. All right. And I think there's a foundational thing that says, did you earn it? I was
Yeah.
telling you about it really quickly. My son Ian, who's played hockey his whole life, and he's in an environment right now where he's going to be able to use a lot of that skill as well as his business degree to kind of manage this new thing, this new hockey thing that's coming up. And I said to his boss, the guy that's going to own all this, because I said, thanks for giving him the opportunity. And he goes, I didn't give him anything.
Yeah.
He said, he's earned every single bit of it.
I'm really grateful for my parents.
Yeah.
And I can critique all I want that they didn't stand up for me or they didn't. But I am more of a man today, a better minister, a better father, a better husband, because I had to fight my own battles. They taught me and it took years to get there, but they didn't jump in and fight the battles when
That's
conflict
right.
hit, when friction was happening. You can manage this. I know who you are and I trust you.
Yeah. And unless you're literally going off the edge and your parents
Oh,
watch
yeah.
for that, or
You
you're
picked up the
protecting.
bat, put the bat down.
Yeah. So there you are. So here's a little example. Here's a little
Okay.
to do. to start this off with. Everybody listening out there? Okay, after me, here we go. I want you to rub your hands together.
All right,
Come on,
there
rub
it
them.
is.
Rub them harder. Rub them. And what are you feeling?
Heat.
Heat. There's heat coming because of friction. Now, let me ask you a couple questions. Okay, here we are. Does it feel good or bad? Did you get a sensation that said, that feels pretty good? Or, ooh, if I do that much more, I might burn me, or whatever it might be. How'd you feel when you were doing that?
Energy. I feel energized.
There it is. Okay, so friction can be energizing. Right.
Maybe friction itself is just a testimony that there is energy present.
There, okay.
That now if I'm aware of the energy, then I can use it for something good.
There it is. Channel it.
So
right?
maybe I'm rubbing my hands together or two sticks together. I'm going to create a fire, but I can manage that energy in such a way that I'll never have the experience of, oh no, I don't want to have that.
I love that. I love it, man. There's so many ways we can go with this whole thing. Good. And some people might look at it bad. Maybe you're doing this and there's a ring on your finger and it scraped you. I mean, there's all kinds of different things where you might not have liked that experience.
And you make the adjustment.
The
ring hurt. Take the ring off. Now rub your hands together.
Yeah, I'm going back to create the friction, though.
Exactly.
Okay. Here's another thing that I was wondering. Does it depend? Does how you respond to that, good or bad, does it depend on the circumstance? In other words, I'm sitting here with you and we're doing a podcast and we're rubbing our hands together. We're creating friction. But now you get into a different environment. You get into a different situation, whatever it might be.
What is the mindset in relationship, in partnership, in team? There, you have to be consciously aware of the mindset. Okay, there's some friction. There's an argument happening. There's a difficulty. We're wrestling a little bit. What is the mindset? First in my own head. And then who is the person on the other side of this equation? What is their mindset? You have to be conscious and ask that question before you back out just because, oh my gosh, there's friction. You might be missing that fire. And if it is dangerous, you've asked the question to get the right information.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff, because how you, in any environment, it does change by circumstance and environment. But are you cognizant enough? Have you discerned enough? Do you have a high enough consciousness to do exactly what you were just talking about?
Friction requires consciousness, to be awake, to be aware, to be present to your own energy and the energy. But it is a great recipe, being present and conscious for creativity, for goodness, for evolution. And you never get any of that if you just, it's friction, I back away.
That's the mediocre. Okay.
It's too dangerous.
Or the dead. Like you were talking
the dead.
about.
It's the night of the living dead. And I think one thing, politics, I don't like to get into politics, but there's a lot of friction in our politics right now.
Oh, that's for
and I
sure.
could easily call it bad because I've lived that life. I know something's about to be born. Let's be conscious. So I'm calling for consciousness, not backing away from a fight. Or an argument or a disagreement. Let's just recognize there's potential here.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
love that.
how I define my prayers as well, is let the potential be here.
You make the intention, it's going to go where you intend. We talked about
but it's true. And I find that 9 times out of 10, good comes from it. If I can stay in the fire and not just run away from it before it even warmed up.
Absolutely. What does that look like when you are fragile? When the friction, when you try to bypass the friction, when you try to mitigate it, when you try to make like it's not there, what happens is you get too focused on confirmation biased information. It only goes along and you only can deal with it if it fits my confirmation bias. Then there's no friction.
And what comes first, the friction or the confirmation bias? Or is it a great circle of energy? I've made up my mind that this is who you are in this disagreement, and so I avoid it. And then we avoid it, and then my bias is now increased. See, I was right. That's who they were. You didn't even get them a chance to prove you wrong.
Yeah, because you didn't want the friction.
I want people to prove me wrong. Let's get into an argument. This is what I thought about you. I was wrong.
So how often do we do that? Just take stock. Right? This is all we're doing. We're asking you out there and ourselves as well. Take stock. As we mention some of this for our own self, do some introspection.
And it's honest communication, which is honest communication, authentic communication will cause friction. And if we don't do it, we're dying.
That's right. Yeah, you're just talking already about, you've already said some of these. Stay safe in conversation and or in your environment. Again, you walk around in your bubble. Right? It's comfortable. People, circumstance, whatever it might be, these are peeps. You're in this environment and it just feels good. You're coddled. You use that word already.
One of the most fun things I ever did,
Yeah.
it got into one of these giant plastic ball things,
Yeah.
and you're on a field and everybody else is in the plastic ball and you're all bumping up
Yeah.
against each other and you go rolling backwards, and it is
Yeah,
so
nice.
much fun. So
Yeah.
can we flip a switch in our head that this conflict or this friction can be fun?
Oh, there's another good point.
And when you can constitute
friction.
it as fun, there's learning.
Yes.
I learned to be a better bubble on the field. My bubble expanded a little bit. If I treated my bubble a little differently, I could actually win the game and get my bubble to
Well,
the
you
side.
got bumped around. And you got, how did you deal with that? How did all of that
You
stuff?
got bumped around. Oh, no,
Yeah.
don't let little Johnny get hurt.
Yeah, right.
The little Johnny I'm protecting of my own heart and my own ego.
And how often do we protect ourselves from
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff? Right. So we lose the ability. Let's go back to Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
We lose gradually more and more as we continue to live in this place. We lose the ability to be courageous. We don't even know what that looks like because we aren't willing to overcome the fear factor because we stay away from fear. We kind of just not get in those environments where we even have to be challenged and we're fearful.
So is the death we're talking about just the death of the hero that we were designed to be?
Yeah, there's Joseph
The
Campbell.
bravery, the courage is gone, and the hero never gets on a journey. Never gets the treasure, never has to face a dragon. Okay, we're safe. And then nothing ever comes home that makes the world any different or better.
These things, we all go through these things. The big difference is, have you realized it? Has it been just a part of your life? Has it just been a phase? Has it just been, and we all go up and we all come down, right? But we never want to stay in that same place. I don't care where it is.
I had this conversation recently in a class, I think, and it was talking about a child that falls down. Let me tell you, the kids that end up walking more quickly are not the ones where they go, oh, poor little baby, you fell down and hurt us. Oh, you fell down. Whoops, let's get up. And that little whoops doesn't make it a big dramatic thing. You might have gotten hurt. It might have hurt. Those kids are going to walk faster than the ones that are coddled. And again, I'm going to walk faster no matter the environment, religious, spiritual, emotional, mental. I will walk faster when I don't coddle that little part of myself that fell down and made a mistake. So the credit, as the quote said, goes to the guy that's in the arena who fell down 10 times and got up 11. He's walking. The guy on the sideline, still sitting there.
Yes. And the parent, how the parent reacts in that scenario as well. If they're the ones that the kids see on the face or in the tone of the voice, they're going to pick up on it. Just like you said, they're going to stand up if the parent is going, come on, no worries.
So have we lost the art of conflict because mommy has coddled us and taken care of us? Mommy lives in me. Mommy's going to make it okay. I'm crying, wah, wah. And reality, the people that have caused me to grow the most, and even in the last 2 years, the one said, would you like a little cheese with that wine? When I'm whining and I want my mommy, they get tough and it's tough love. I buck up. I get tougher. Now, it's always done in love. But sometimes tough love is necessary for evolution.
A lot of times. So we've already talked about it can result in just a middling ground or even death. We've talked about both. That if you to practice this,
stagnation.
Yes, that's a great word. Stagnation. You stagnate, and are we having fun yet? Who wants that? Okay. It limits. We've talked about these concepts, but the crux of it is it limits. Number one, our IQ. We don't learn new things that stretch us, whether it's reading a book or whether it's being, whatever. Go to a library, go to a museum, read a new book. It doesn't matter, all right? Just you lose the ability because you don't even think this way anymore. It's just you're not even challenging yourself.
It's not a concept that can even enter your brain.
You don't even think
or
about
your
it.
Emotional intelligence, your EQ.
Exactly.
We're stunted. I think a lot of people walk into place emotionally stunted because they haven't learned how to deal with conflict or even disagreement or counter opinion.
Yeah, they haven't examined themselves enough. I love EQ. I think when I did the leadership class that I taught that one time in church, one of the biggest things I tried to stress was you can go and think about all this other stuff. And how do you do this in the seminar and the checklist? And what should you say? What should you do? If you learn to develop your EQ, you're going to do all that stuff better.
Yep.
Just
it's a
naturally.
partnership.
So
I have some of the smartest people on the planet that I've ever met that were brighter and wiser than I could ever think of being we're emotionally stunted.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you offered something different to the arena. I don't know how to handle this.
Right. There's a whole thing about that.
Well,
I can't
and it came
encourage you.
from a
No.
society that's about frictionless mediocrity. They never got a chance to have an emotional rub, an
There you
emotional
go.
time where this is a little
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but I'm about to grow emotionally
we
as
got-
well.
We can turn that around. We just got to be conscious. Number one, you're not going to fix a problem if you don't even realize you have one. That's that whole thing. All right.
Well, and then the ultimate
And then the ultimate, it limits our spiritual.
SQ. It's what it's
the
all
SQ.
about.
You preached that. You had a sermon on that, what, a month ago or something
It's
like that?
real
Whatever.
big because I'm not the brightest bulb in the world. I'm not the most emotionally secure, but
I
I have
love
a
that.
connection to a power greater than me
I love
that does have those things. It allows
Spiritual
me to get into the arena.
Intelligence, man. It's so multifaceted, and yet it's mysterious. And that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
Because now it's bigger than us. It's bigger than you. It's
Yep.
bigger than me. I want some of that. I don't know about whoever's listening, but put me in a game, coach.
Is
for that
there,
kind
there friction just in saying, I don't know? Is there friction in having a relationship with the mystery? Absolutely.
yeah.
So those who are afraid to have some friction never experience the vastness of the miracle of God, light, love,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call this beautiful thing called life. Oh, if I'm avoiding friction, I don't know will cause friction within you. I
Well,
have to control everything, and I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. What just came to my mind and flashed into my brain was the phoenix. That sometimes you crash and burn.
Yeah.
You're just damn ashes. You just can't
Yep.
figure it out. And then all of a sudden, the fire, the friction.
The fire.
Okay. And boom. I don't know. I just thought of that. I thought it's a great picture anyway for anything.
It's the opposite of what the intellect, the ego
Yeah.
will say, don't go to the fire, don't create
Yeah.
the fire. The emotional and intelligence will say, that's scary, you could get
right.
hurt.
You're going to
The
burn.
spiritual intelligence says, dive into the fire and you're going to be more.
Yeah. You're going to be reborn better.
Again, we're in
higher,
the season right now.
greater.
I don't know when this will air, but we're in the season of a crucifixion.
That's right.
At the
Close to
week
Easter.
that could change the world. And let it happen.
Right.
Die to who you have been, which is going to be difficult and painful because you're more on the other side of it.
That's perfect because we're in that week, without a doubt. And we talked about the arena. This is a quickie. I had it on here. Suppress the willingness to fail as we innovate. Okay. You suppress the willingness. You're worried about failing. And this is, go back to Teddy Roosevelt. Same thing. You're hesitant if you're hunkering down because failure is not an option.
Yep.
To me, that's a failure to
Who
start
was it
with.
that said at one point, people who make no mistakes usually don't make anything at all? And I think
Well,
I've lived both those worlds.
There you are. Yeah.
That my greatest good that I brought to the planet was when I failed for 4, 5, 6, maybe 15 times. The 16th time, it hit.
Yeah.
I got it.
And everybody's failed in their life. I can't imagine any
I don't think
individual
you can escape.
that at some point hasn't failed. Now, here's the question. What'd you do?
Yep.
Did it mar you literally for the rest of your life to this point?
Mhm.
Or did it strengthen you? And it's so hard. Sometimes you want to look at, wow, that was for a reason and it's going to make me stronger. That sometimes gets flippant. Sometimes you just sort of shrug it off to that point and you don't own it really. You just kind of, it was what it was. And sometimes it sounds a little trite to say, oh
Yeah.
man, that was a good
I like
thing.
to tell people, feel what you need to feel
Yeah.
humanly.
Yeah.
Okay, I wish that had gone better.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done better. I wish I would have won. Whatever it is, feel it. Don't deny it, but don't camp out there. Okay, what did I
Right.
learn from that experience? It's not that you're disappointed.
Yeah.
Go ahead and be disappointed.
Uh-huh.
Be sad.
Yeah.
Be whatever you need to be. Don't camp out there.
Well, and sometimes, and it's okay. I think we talked about liminal space in one of our episodes. It's okay if you need to stay in that middling ground, feel the friction, try to figure out what it means.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's not camping out there. That's moving through. Camping out would be you don't even go into the liminal space. So you're
Right.
just, okay, no, I'm going too scary. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. Let's climb Mount Everest. There are benchmarks. There are plateaus that you need to be on there, and you need to camp out for a while. I guess the real failure is it was really hard. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's asking a lot of me. I'm not going to go any harder.
I'll stay here and wait
I'm
for you
just gonna
guys to get
stay
back.
right- I'll have the dinner on. What happens,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and using this metaphor is you guys shouldn't go up there because it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
It could be. And then people who have been coddled begin to coddle other people.
Mhm.
And we create a pattern of coddledness. Is that a word? Of victimhood or of no risk. No risk, no reward, plain and simple.
I've certainly lived this in my life personally, where I've had to, my dad used to say, bow your neck. That's what it was kind of his favorite sayings. He's a baseball guy and all that. But what that just meant to me is get back in there, damn it, okay? And quit whining like you were talking about earlier.
Right.
Come to the game. It doesn't mean you have to hit home run. Just get in a batter's box. Okay?
Jesus said it.
And,
Not one of my favorite stories. Take up your mat and walk.
Yeah.
Stop defining yourself by what happened. You didn't make it that time. For 38 years, you didn't make it. Stop defining yourself by those things. Define yourself by the SQ. Your emotional is hurt. Your intellect is frustrated. But the SQ says one more time.
Yep. You just can't ever give it up. All right. And here's the thing, too. You end up affecting almost everything. You're great about this, the internal. Your mental health, your self-esteem, and your ability to cope. We've been talking about that, but it all goes together. It all is part of the whole.
Yep. You're only as strong as your weakest member of your team.
Really good, yeah.
You're within you and outside.
And what this just came into my mind again, what that said to me as well is, you know what? I have strong links, and then I have a weak link. But if you stay there, and if you don't cultivate and strengthen that weak link, guess what happens to the link next to it, right?
Yeah,
it has to carry more of the load, and a lot of times it becomes too weak. And it's a ripple effect thing. It just doesn't sit by itself right there until you fix it. If you can't get your self-esteem in check, it's going to affect your health. It's going all that kind of stuff.
I used to say, I don't know if this is analogous or not. Man, if I would have really loved chemistry, if I could have written a paper about how much I hated it. or trigonometry. I loved the English. I excelled in English, but I realized that when I fought the education in the other parts of my brain, that my writing did not keep up with the other people that were also gifted writers.
Yeah,
because I fought chemistry and trigonometry and accessing and cultivating those parts I was not as good at, my writing suffered. And the other writers who did face it
lives in isolation.
Exactly.
It just
So is it possible with our education? And I love that you sent me an article this week about a university.
Wasn't it great? Yeah.
That's all welcoming.
Yeah.
What was the word? Friction maxing?
Friction maxing.
An educational program that encourages it, that cultivates it, and offers it as part of the curriculum.
In a Christian university, which I thought was really
very impressive.
Neat. Instead of hunkering down, here's the truth, can't go outside of it, we live in a bubble, all that kind of stuff. You're right.
And religion, let's be honest, the mommy of most adults is religion.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, don't hurt. The coddling religion can be the mother. And so a Christian university doing this, I'm all about standing ovation for that university.
I was really impressed by that. There was an article in Christianity Today that they were talking about that college.
And there
was in
consequences for that college, but I believe it's going to shine in the long haul.
So, yes. So here I think that I put that on. So let's go back to the parent thing. So a parent can send their child to a nice, safe, Christian college without all these other liberal influences, and however you want to look at it, sometimes that's what they do. I'm not saying every parent. It's not uncommon. And so now all of a sudden they get challenged. They get their faith gets challenged.
Yeah.
And boy, you put a student through that, they're going to get out in the real. I've met so many people that have gone through seminary and got an MDiv, and they have absolutely no idea how to be practical, how to take it out into the world. You're going to be dealing with a congregation. They can't they can't connect the.
I like to say that if you have a faith that is not up to scrutiny or challenge or a counter opinion, it is a faith. It is a faith built on sand.
Fragile.
It's a house on sand. And I think a lot of people do that. They've not been exposed to counter opinions or ideas or belief systems. Brainwashing, basically. Let me brainwash you into this environment. And unfortunately, when you get into the real world, I didn't know people thought like that.
You're way too fragile.
That's not what I was told.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do it. Mommy. And in the universities, I can't believe the number of times I've had mothers come for a sophomore in college to talk to the professor about the grade their child got. Yeah. Grow a pair. Honey, mommy's not going to fight this battle. You go ask the question.
Right. Or Sally. The metaphor still holds, right?
Yeah, exactly. Male or female.
Male
it's
or
just,
female.
You don't need mommy. And I think our faith systems, for a lot of the culture of Western, the mindset, it's a very fragile religious system that we're not open. So what we do is we close down conversation. Oh, we're going to close down your opinion and just say it's evil or it's wrong or it's bad because I'm so fragile. I cannot. This university is bringing in people to have those counter opinions.
They create the friction, right? Friction maxing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Friction maxing, knowing those students are going to have a higher IQ, EQ, and SQ at the end of the journey.
Hey, man. I really applauded them, and that's why I really wanted to talk about this on the podcast. How are we dealing with this? Start it out if you're in the bubble, if you're coddled, if you realize that I really haven't been challenged along the way for whatever reason. You haven't challenged yourself. And in the college, maybe you've just been used to the whole life of just throwing a God card. God's got it. God's got my back. God knows. God's got a plan. And so you never have to, you put the friction onto God. So let God deal with it.
Yeah. And God's like the father in the stands at the game saying, get back in the game, Johnny.
Yeah.
Get back in the game.
What do you think? Yeah, this isn't, I read Paul Young's book about lies we tell about God or believe about God.
Yeah.
And he just said, we got this idea about Jesus going, he'll fix it. It's his plan and all that kind of stuff. I love what Paul Young said. He said, no, it don't work that way. God's going to let you make the decision, whatever it's going to be. And then he's going to climb right in there with you and go, right there, go the footprints in the sand thing or whatever you want to call it. But the point is you made the decision. It wasn't the marionette. God directing.
And God so loves us that God will, this energy will allow us to suffer or benefit from the consequences of those decisions.
Our decisions.
Our decisions. You made the choice. What happened?
I'm here.
It's friction. Great. Lean into it. I'm not going to come in and rescue you and coddle you. Oh, that energy can soothe the pains and the wounds, but it's not rushing in to save you from your choices.
And there's some friction. What's the problem, God? There's some friction here between us. What's the problem?
God, take this away. No, God's saying lean into it.
The next thing is our buddy Stu, right? Do something uncomfortable. Learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I always love it every time
that was
he says
his favorite. That was one of his favorite sayings. How often do we do that? How often do we go bring it up? It's okay if I'm uncomfortable. I'm starting not getting used to it, but I'm starting to say there's a benefit to it. That heat, that friction, I've seen enough times in my life that it's good, and I'm going to embrace it. Right.
Well, and the thing is, in my mind, where this journey of becoming who I am today was, okay, I faced the friction. I got through it. Oh, I got to do it again? And then you get over that hill, there's another mountain. It's part of the earthly experience. And we shut down life if we don't go to the next mountain.
And we talked about this too. It's sort of this journey where you have a consciousness at a certain level because you've done the work. And then something kicks you in the teeth. And you go down. You can't handle it quite right. But at the end of the day, if you're continuing to cultivate it, you end up at a level.
The trend is you're going to a higher place, which is going to be next week's episode. We won't talk about volatility, but we lean into the friction as the very means of getting to a higher place, higher expression, and a higher experience.
Just set better intentions and practice persistence. Intentions are huge. Without them, here's the thing. We've talked about this a zillion times. When you have an intention, I can't do it. That's an intention. And when you set that kind of intention, you can't.
And the energy is going to conspire. That's what you say you can't. Great. I'm going to give you that.
So you got to set the right intentions. It's gumball God, where you just set an intention. You put the quarter in, turn the knob, and you get the gumball. Okay. It doesn't work like that. And sometimes we're taught that it works like that.
It's like a vending machine universe.
That's right. It's easy. Okay. So that doesn't work that way. And you have to be persistent. Back to the Teddy Roosevelt. You got to hang in there. You've talked already about this in the episode.
I don't care how many times you fall down. Just get up one more time, then you fell.
That's it. So practice some of that. And we all have to have this introspection. I hope we're doing this episode. And the folks that are listening to us are saying to themselves because believe me, we have to convict ourselves. And when I put this stuff together and you look at it, we're going more here first. Gee, am I like that? Gee, what do I need to improve?
What rings so true, what you've put on this paper is, I am the product of my failures, not my successes. I am more because of failures.
There it is. Yeah. That's exactly. We've talked about that before too.
I think that's really important to recognize. I give you permission to fall down.
Yes.
And I give you permission to buck up and get back up.
Yep. So be humble. just grow in the humility of it, be humble, and do it with grace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not easy, but I think if you adopt that, it's going to help how you grid the friction as we rub our hands together.
And that heat, that fire we talked about, that's the very SQ. You're going to discover in that heat something you didn't even know existed in your field. That's to me the SQ. It's the mystery and it's the unknown, but lean in and you're going to find it.
Rub the hands and you have no idea. Then open them and then you have no idea what's going to come if you're into the SQ.
But you have an open hand.
Yes, exactly. Love it, Rev. That's it, man. Hope I'm learning. This is convicting me in some ways. Yeah. Thanks for the wisdom. I think this is a great episode. I'm glad we had a chance to go through it because we're growing it too. Yes, we got an episode coming up next week. We're going to talk a little bit about what
volatility and a whole bunch of words that you know in your world that I don't, but I will go along for the ride.
Where are you going to do it? All right. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks, Rev.
Thank you.
Love being with you.
Thanks for leading.
We'll catch everybody next week. Take care.